William here from the P2P studio. I just wanted to get everyone a tutorial on the very basics of Photoshop, at like how to open a file, and your basic edits to a raw file and a Jpeg file as well. So we're gonna go ahead and start by you're gonna open up Photoshop. Now, before I start, I know that a lot of you already know how to do this. This is just very basic. Some people may not know, so I wanted to do this first, so that they can figure out just the basics of Photoshop. I remember when I was first starting out, I didn't know those simple things like how to open up a file and so forth. So go ahead and open up Photoshop, as I said. After you open up Photoshop, you're going to go to File, Open, and that'll take you into your files folders, and depending on what kind of folders you have and where you have pictures saved, that's where you'll grab your image from. I'm going to open it up from my tutorials folder. I'm just going to pick an image. Just choose this one. Okay, so this is a picture I took of my dog a while ago. So it's a pit bull mixed with a Shar-Pei, if for anyone that's curious. But basically, here's a raw file. I opened this up and I took it off of my Canon 7D in the CR2 format, which is raw, another name for a raw file, coming from Canon. And first off, we have exposure, which is this. That just lightens or darkens the image, overall. Ups the exposure or lowers the exposure. As I said, I'm not going to do any edits here. I'm just going to show you all the little bells and whistles. And you have your recovery and your fill light. And fill light adds a fill effect, more of a fill light. It's exactly what it says. But you have your brightness, your contrast, your blacks, clarity, vibrance, and then saturation all the way down at the bottom, which you can't see for some odd reason on my screen, but it's down there. Saturation. Here you have your curves, your highlights, lights, darks, and shadows. And you can grab it from here and edit it, or you can grab it down here and do them individually. Also have your detail, your sharpening, and your noise reduction here. You can convert it to grayscale directly from here, like so. Just check that, and then you can darken or lighten colors individually, changing them more to black or white, depending on which one you want. You have split toning, lens corrections, effects, which is grain, and vignetting. You also have camera collaboration, and just a lot of stuff in a raw file that you can just edit in raw format. I like it a lot. Some people like it better to edit from the JPEG files, but I personally like to edit a raw file. Just there's a lot more to do. Here's one of my favorite tools, is the adjustment brush. Basically, you can select a certain area in which you want to edit. You can, like, if you have like a sky image, you can darken or lighten the sky, and lighten areas, darken areas to make it look more like a HD rendering, HDR image. It's pretty cool. But you also have your crop tool, just the normal things. Also, you have your straightening tool, you have your target adjustment tool, white balance, color sampler, all that. So to get the picture out of here now, into JPEG, into the JPEG version of the edit, what you're going to do is, after you're done all this, all your editing, whatever you like, you're going to go ahead and click Open Image down here. And that'll basically convert it, and it'll bring it into the normal Photoshop interface. Let's wait for that. Okay, so now it's in here, and basically it's the same thing for JPEG. If you directly open up a JPEG file, it'll come directly to this. It'll be this exact format. When it opens up, it'll be this interface. So another thing you can do is for editing a JPEG directly, you have all your tools on the left hand side. You know, you have your rectangular marquee tool, your lasso, magic wand, crop, eyedropper, spot healing, and then under spot healing you also have the patch, red eye, um, and the healing brush. Under here you have eyedropper, color sampler, ruler, note tool, count tool, all types of tools. Here you have brush tool, pencil, color replacement, mixer brush. Down here, this is your clone stamp, pattern stamp, that you can clone an area of a picture. I'll do a tutorial on that as well. You have your history brush, your eraser, gradient, blur, burn and dodge, your pen tools, your horizontal type tools, your path selection, rectangle tools. So much stuff here. But your basic edits for a JPEG image are obviously you're going to use a crop. You're going to crop it how you like it, you know, and so forth. To do that, all you're doing is start at the area you want to start at, click and drag, you know, just click and drag. But you know, I'm not going to crop this picture just because, you know, like I said, it's just a tutorial on how to do things. But also, now your basic edits, you're just going to go to image, adjustments, sorry, levels. You have your levels here, your curves, your exposure, your hue and saturation, just as you had in the raw format, the raw interface. You have all the same things. Now the levels, you know, it's a little different. You know, you have your darks over here and you have your whites here. Pretty much what you want to do is you want to get things to the beginning of, you know, where it starts to go up, is what I always tend to tell myself. So if I get my blacks there and I get my whites there, sometimes it's a little overdone, so you might want to back off a little bit in the blacks. But sometimes it's not. It gives you a nice contrast between the blacks and the whites and so forth. Uh, let's see, what else? Some more adjustments. You know, like I said, in hue and saturation, curves, exposure, brightness, contrast, shadow and highlights, all of that stuff. Then you also have filters over here. But as I said, I'm just doing the basics. Filters, you get into those, and then you get into, you don't want to damage the picture, so you're going to want to do multiple layers and so forth. So as of right now, that's all I want to do. Now, how to save the file, basically, you want to go to File and Save As. Now, here you have your format. You can choose the format in which you want to save it. JPEG, you can save it in the photo as a Photoshop document, as a PNG. It's one of the, you can save it, you know, as numerous file types. Most of the time, you just want to save it as a JPEG to go on the web or whatever. After you do that, name it. It'll already be highlighted. Name it whatever you want. I'm just gonna name it dog, and then you can go ahead and choose a folder from wherever. You know, I'm just gonna save it in the tutorials folder. Just to show you guys how to do it, and I'm just gonna click save. Quality 12. You want the quality all the way up most of the time, but you can back off a little bit to decrease the file's size. Sometimes uploading it to certain websites need a smaller size file. But that's done. You're going to click OK. And, OK. Alright, there we go. Now it'll basically save, and once the name changes at the top right here, it'll go ahead and show you that it's been saved. Now let's just go ahead and close the file. And that's your basics of Photoshop, just basic editing tips. Very, very, very minor stuff here. When you get into the more in-depth editing, and you get into pictures that are more damaged, that weren't created as well in the camera, you're gonna need to do more edits. More tutorials coming soon. I need you all to subscribe. Again, my name's Will from the P2P Studio. You'll see a lot more tutorials coming soon. I really appreciate you guys looking. Comment. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at thep2pstudio@yahoo.com. Again, that's thep2pstudio@yahoo.com. Yeah, so see you guys later.